Hello, friends. Tanya here with day 3 of the 2025 Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. Let's get to opening day number 3. I'm still stunned with how beautiful the illustration is on this Crafty Advent Calendar. It looks like we get another die set, and again, the lid underside of each of these little doors shows a picture of what's inside, and it looks like an adorable magic themed bunny in a hat. Look at those pieces. There are a few, but the assembly of this is actually pretty fast. So let's get to work assembling. I cut out the bunny from an off-white cardstock, and there is a backer for behind the eyes and the nose. Now I prefer the eyes on my bunny to be black and the nose to be pink. So I did take a Copic marker and color parts of that little backer black and left the center pink. Next, we're going to add the insides of the ears, and these were cut with the same color pink. You can see the indentations or the embossing lines on the die cut piece of paper, and it makes placement so easy. Now I did cut the top hat out of some onyx assortment of treasured cardstock, and the wand is out of the pearl metallic, and the details for the hat and the magic wand are cut from I believe that's just the plain old metallic, like the shiniest of the silver assortment of the treasured cardstock pack. You can see a little bit in that glitter cardstock, the embossed line where the hat band goes. You wouldn't even need that necessarily because it's a hat band. You kind of know where those go. But it does help, especially if you aren't using glitter cardstock. But I wanted to go full glam. There's a little embossed line on the bottom of the bunny head to help you line it up with the hat. And I just used my reverse tweezers to help keep that in place while it dries with the glitter cardstock. There are also 3 little tiny stars that die cut with this. I pulled out my Falling Stars letterpress plate, which has a coordinating embossing folder. It's actually pretty amazing. So I am taking this plate and I'm lining it up with the cardstock, or half of my cardstock. I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock because I'm going to make a 5 by 7 card. I'm using some speckled aura cardstock, foil, sorry. I think that's speckled aura. It's a very iridescent speckly pattern, and it really turned out well. And the secret for me to get this to work was I heated up that platform, let it come to temp. The green light came on, pressed the timer, let it heat up, pulled it out, didn't move it, pushed the platform back into the glimmer heating system, let it heat up, and hit the timer again. That was for the first use. And then when I ran it through the machine, I did run it back and forth inside the machine 3 or 4 times. These speckled foils are a little finicky, and I decided to try it with Distress Oxide in Black Soot on Hammermill cardstock also, and it did work well. I did decide to go ahead and do some reverse foiling right away. So I have the Spellbinders specialty cardstock. This is the Glimmer specialty cardstock, and I am using, I think that might be the Pink Fresh reverse foiling plate, whatever system you have, and ran that through again back and forth 3 or 4 times. Now we're going to take the Hero Arts Infinity Dies 5-point stars, and I chose a size that will fit well behind our bunny. And look at that fun glittery star. Now here is that coordinating embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder called Wishing Stars, and one so the bottom half of this embossing folder coordinates with that press plate. And I just lined it up, and by the luck by my luck, it just happened that it fits perfectly if I align it with the whole embossing folder, but I only cover half of the embossing folder with my top plate. And then I'm able to do some partial embossing and get the entire sheet embossed. Now, I did not trim down that cardstock before I ran it through the embossing folder. I did choose to just use my guillotine trimmer to do that and cut this down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Next, I added a couple of extra star shape or sizes and cut that from the reverse foiled piece. Those I'll use on the inside. And then I used a slightly smaller star die to cut a backer for that largest star that we're going to put on the front of the card, because we know I like to add a little extra cardstock behind my front of the card embellishments. I did add a little extra cardstock behind this main panel, and we're adhering it to a 5x7 black cardstock base. This is like 80-pound cardstock, but since it's black, I plan to add a liner to the inside of the card anyway, and that creates that extra level of stability that I enjoy. Now that we've adhered the star with the bunny partially off the star, we're going to add sentiments from the Confetti Wishes clear Stampin' Die of the month from, I think that was November of 2024, so a year ago. I have a piece of cardstock, black cardstock here, that I have heavily treated with my anti-static powder bag. And then we're going to use some clear embossing ink to ink up these two sentiments that we're going to use, one on the inside and one on the outside of the card. And I do like to get a really good inking on this these bold sentiments. So I stamped it 3 times. Next, I pulled out the gilded embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. This is one of my favorite golds. It seems to be just a little brighter than some of the other golds, and that seemed appropriate when I'm using the Aura speckled foil. I just used my coffee filter. I've been using the same coffee filter for well over a decade. It just gets folded back up and put in my drawer full of embossing powder. I actually have 2 filters that I've been using forever. I can't believe how durable they are. It's very easy to just steal a couple from your kitchen and never have to worry about it again. Now that I've heat embossed these, I do wipe that off with a microfiber cloth. Next, I'm taking the Precision Layering A2 set B, and I'm taking I think it's almost I take a die that coordinates so I can cut out the label shape for the happy birthday. And I cut a couple extra scraps of black cardstock, and we're going to layer those up behind the happy birthday. And the other sentiment had a coordinating die. I, for some reason, thought that stamp set had a coordinating die for the happy birthday too, but it did not. We make do, right? It's the only stamp in that set that did not have a coordinating die. It's okay. We made it work. Now I'm going to add that to the front of the card underneath our cute little bunny, and we'll let that sit under the heavyweight block while we assemble the inside of the card. Here is the panel that I have cut down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And we're going to add our medium-sized star and the sentiment, and then the smallest star. I love the reversed foiled glittery stars here, especially on a white background. Now, I made this card and then waited overnight to do my voiceover. And when I woke up, I thought, oh, maybe I should pull off the gold foiled star behind our bunny and use a solid cardstock behind him, because that's a lot of shimmer. But I think I'm still happy with it. I don't need to do a little card surgery, but you absolutely could. You can pull things apart off of your cards if you decide to change things and change them up, or you could just make another version. I do have 2 of these black panels that are gold foiled and embossed that turned out so good. Yeah, I'm actually really quite happy with this card. Now that I have all of those elements adhered to the inside of the card, I'm going to use my heavyweight Misty, or 2 layers of Misty, to add some pressure to make those adhere nicely. It says, may your May your year be sparkled with magic. I think that was a perfect sentiment to go with the front of the card. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and check that description box below for a link to a list of all of the products that I used in today's video. There are still advent calendars available, so if you haven't gotten yours and you want one, make sure you go buy one before they're sold out. I will be back every day with a new video until the end of the advent calendar. Until tomorrow, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.